Hello, everybody, and welcome to vlog number 5 of the Ready Persona 1 campaign.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That happened. Stunned
Oh,
silence.
I oh,
Stirring the pot. Stirring the
yeah,
pot.
it's a lot of stirring.
Mhm.
That was a lot, guys. I'm not sure about you, but
That
I
was a
mean,
lot.
we've talked about it in our session negative one of like
Yeah.
stuff affecting, and it like for me, it was more of like jumping into world to do something and you're not like physically there in the real
Mhm.
world and you're physically there, so it's kind of like a parallel dimension. But and this works too, and I still love it. But
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or did this feel like prologue and main story start the
yeah, it does.
session?
I think it was
I
a
mean,
slow burn, but 5 episodes in, I think it was a pretty good
Yep.
I think it was a really good
Mhm.
warm up, ramp up, whatever you want to call it.
We had a good, nice, peaceful run, and then it ended.
Oh,
we're all in the
also,
same
I'm
place
sorry
now.
if there's a cat.
It's all right. Hey, we're all in the same place now. Everyone lives with Gabe now.
Everyone's at Gabe's house now.
The kids
Yeah.
are gonna come be like, "What happened, Dad?" He goes, "I had to take in all these
Hey, buddy,
people."
what's up?
Oh, strays.
Mhm.
All the strays.
I take in murderers
No.
now, kids.
I love how you have one from each faction too. So if there is like
I,
any inter party factions, because some of us are related or are directly influenced by
Mhm.
those
By certain
factions.
factions, yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
collect them all.
I,
Everyone.
Yeah.
I was more going for the thing of like I'm the biological child of the leader of Cups.
I have
You
two.
are
Joey's the sister.
Joey's
Yeah.
As a
sister.
brother, because
And
the faction
Gabe,
list.
we got a
Brothers
big
faction.
target on our backs if Hark wants to go up that alley, but not giving you ideas.
Yeah.
I was afraid that Mr. Steele would be like, "Wait a minute, the other connection you guys all work for this Gabe Stoll fella."
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel Stolfella, we gotta look into him.
He probably already knows that.
Yeah, Dave kind of told him, "Oh, we're all in the QA
Yeah.
testing group." Oh, that's right. You are in that testing thing.
Mm-hmm. Abe was like waterfall of truth.
Yeah, and he asked you about casualties, and you're like 15 or something, but I didn't think he ever thought about, because he wasn't there, so he wouldn't think to ask, how many snipers did you shoot? I don't think he would have thought that was relevant in any way. Or how
Yeah,
did you kill
true.
them? I don't think he would have thought that was relevant. So,
I'm not sure if you noticed it in the moment or if you even had the thing open, but while my interrogation was going on, I was completely honest except for one part. And I'm not sure if anybody else noticed when I rolled the deception check in the chat, and it was a natural 6. So, it was a natural 3, 6.
Hmm.
But that was right after he asked me, do you think anybody is out to get you or something like that? I don't remember his exact wording.
Mm-hmm.
But that is something that happened, and I'm wondering what you guys are thinking about it.
Wait, who do you think would be out to get you? Who we think would be out to get you?
Who do you
That's a good
think
question.
would be out to get me?
Maybe V. I'm still thinking about my previous thing with Forrest about the grandpa situation, the accidents. I think something went wrong early with Forrest and the grandpa, and someone might not like this, and maybe there's something going on there. So
Not that
yeah,
your character knows that yet, but
no.
there was an accident that
Mm-hmm.
Forrest and Nathaniel were both involved in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how much you guys know.
Yeah, that's the
I
entire.
haven't told you guys much, but
Yeah, but it comes with the Janus is a root canal theory, so a lot of theory stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another
Mm.
thing that was like minor, which I think might have some fun later on, is so like so Gabriel rolled that nat 1, so he was like, "Yeah, I don't think this is ever
Mm.
going to happen." But I'm always playing it off as like everyone else is seeing a connection, so Gabe's like, I have to follow this up, even if I can't do this. So, and I think we talked about this, Hark, about a character that was like, "Should I give you his face claim?" And you're like, "I don't think it's gonna like pop up." Well, in this case, I think I have to find you a face claim for his dad, because this is the only other person he would go to for this information. Someone else he knows is at least more knowledgeable with this stuff than he is would be his dad. So most likely he's gonna actually have to go talk to his dad. So
Yeah.
that's gonna have some other things. Yeah.
Speaking about talking to people, I was thinking it was going to come up this session, but it actually didn't. Because last session we learned that the farm, the ranch was going to be maybe demoed, and your company is expanding its space. I thought we were going to have that conversation, and then I stabbed people in the middle of the night.
I have kind of a general question for the players.
Mhm.
What would you say there's something about your character that you don't feel the rest of the group is quite seen yet? Like an element of their personality that hasn't been displayed? Like what's something? Give us some insight.
That is a good question.
I can definitely say there's a bunch of things from a lot of the NPCs that you haven't seen yet.
Oh,
a lot
I
of things
imagine.
that you haven't had a chance to explore yet. But yeah, that'll happen hopefully eventually.
Yeah, I think for Ave, I think it's something that will still come up in the game. So I'm gonna keep that for now hidden. Yeah, it's
Totally fair.
a little bit too big, I think. Yeah.
Well, for me at least, the secrets that I have or Forrest has aren't necessarily like secrets, and parts of their personality aren't necessarily hidden from anybody but themselves. So there's a thing where, yeah, I haven't been like very, especially in the opening few or these first 4 sessions, I haven't been very sarcastic. And we're starting to see a little bit more of that now.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was going to word it like your yellow is showing.
Well, remember, I'm well, maybe you don't. Or originally, it was the idea that yellow was quote unquote the ideal self that Forrest wanted to be. So yellow and Forrest aren't very different characters, strictly speaking. They definitely have differences, but
yeah, you did see for Ave, you did see, however, how in the interrogation scenes and that kind of stuff, that his child is coming back up, like his panicky child and uncertainty was really showing in those scenes. His confidence was broken. He just shot a man. So
that was definitely a new side of Abe I hadn't seen before. That was cool.
Yeah. And just how very protective he was of his brother, too.
That too.
Know, to the point that he just attacked Cade with a whole bunch of birds.
Yeah, that was a really interesting scene. And I was like, yeah, no. But the info that Ave had was like, I know he kills people. I know that's my brother. The person killing people is on top of my brother.
Makes sense.
I guess I should ask Sage did Cade feel any ill will against Ave like immediately after that happened, and does he feel any differently now that he knows like presumably the full story?
I think what his initial thought was like, oh, we've been betrayed, like he's part of this thing. And it was more of like almost a mechanical, more of like a detached emotionally, but more of like a tactical mindset, like a policeman would think or something, that someone on the team has betrayed the team and is part of this conspiracy or whatever. I think that's where his head initially went. As he learned, I think he just leaned on Forrest's perspective and was just like, oh, I guess we're good because Forrest says we're good, so we're good.
That is interesting. Like, I imagine you were totally honest in that moment, right? Like, you trust me or Forrest.
He hasn't bugged you yet.
Yeah.
Hasn't put a bug or a tracker or anything on you yet. So.
No, he hasn't. And he hasn't tried. That's the more important thing. Because he tried with Joey, or he thought about it at least.
Yeah, I put it on Abe, and then Abe was nice to me. And I was like, oh, I'll take it off. He's good. He's fine.
I think there's something poetic about the fact that the person who fears Gabe the most is the one that or Cade the most is the one that Cade trusts the most. Yeah. I think that's very poetic.
Yeah.
It originally it wasn't thought of that like in my head. Hi, yes, I know. I love you too. Thank you.
Everyone kept calling me.
Cade
Sorry,
remembers.
I got a kid too.
Yeah, Cade
Yeah.
remembers what you did for him back in the day. So like, you have his trust.
Originally, I thought I would kind of be like the therapist sort of the group, and it's more like Joey's falling into being like, well, stop. Joey, your character Ave is falling into that category more. And I think we're starting to see Forest warm up to some of their tendencies, especially since they had that conversation with last session. But I'm wondering if all of our party dynamics, because we originally said like I was going to be like the heart. I think Sage, you said you were going to be like, what was it, the powerhouse?
Lancer.
Okay. And Gabe was going to be the smart guy, and then I don't remember what you said, Joey.
I was gonna fill.
You were gonna. Oh yeah. And I believe leader was.
I think Gabe's pretty clearly
Gabe's
the leader.
kind of
We're
the
calling
leader.
him 90 times a session.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Originally, Gabe was supposed to be the intelligent guy. You know.
I think I killed somebody with a sniper rifle.
Man, why can't my kids call me this?
We're your work kids. That's what it is. Yeah, but I'm wondering like, how much has have you guys have your initial, now that we've played the character, now that you've been in the character for more than a few sessions now, of how has it changed from your original sites?
A lot.
Yeah, it all changed with the origin. The moment that Rook said that Ave was the glue of the family, that changed the entire way Ave was thinking regarding group dynamics. It's like, I need to get these people and keep them together. And if the glue starts breaking, then it could be interesting.
I didn't expect to be called so many times.
It's more for us to know who to call.
I know, but it's just one of those things where Gabe's like, man, being called on.
Gabe is kind of like a father figure for a lot of people.
I mean, it makes sense because Gabe's always like, okay, we got to do this right. You got to do this. Maybe because he just fucked it up in the past. He's like, oh man,
I did like that conversation that Gabe had with Cade on the phone, and just trying to reassure him and say, okay, look, it's good that you're trying to help and being genuine about it. I like that a lot. So that was one of my favorite conversations.
Oh, and by the way, I am a lie detector, now that you guys know that.
Yeah. Very helpful.
So you better not lie or I will know.
How many of you think that Seymour has something to do with all of this? Because it definitely seems like Stalin thinks that there might be something there.
My instinct says unlikely.
You don't think Seymour has anything to do with it? Okay.
I think it's a red herring.
Yeah. Okay.
If he has anything to do with it, I would feel like it would be more like someone might be manipulating him to manipulate other people to do it. So someone's like, of course, if I manipulate him, the manipulate
mastermind.
Or maybe he's in the game now and he got access to the test server and he's
That's true. He claims
way.
he doesn't trust that technology, he claims, but maybe.
And then suddenly when we had that concert, he opened up and maybe he suddenly jumped on board. Like
maybe.
Could be. But the big thing that keeps me off of that theory is that there hasn't been a single point between Seymour and Forrest that wasn't like a way of mind control manipulation. Like he had Ave in his backstory. So it could be that this is a permanent thing that he can take, but I don't think Forrest has ever been under control of Seymour. That's what keeps me off.
It's weird because I really intended for both Seymour and V to be influential characters in my story, and then now I'm dealing with a lot of other characters, and I feel like I've kind of forgot about them. And me as a player is like, why did I even give them? But man, and I'm like, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to think of them more,
and that's okay. Like even if you have other characters that you've been attaching yourself to, and that's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You made a character that I'm attached to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, when it comes to Seymour, like me and Forrest and Seymour are not on great terms necessarily. It's kind of like a professional relationship of like, oh, we work together. We're gonna maintain like a courtesy and whatnot. And yeah, the band. I'm not sure if you kept this from the backstory, but the band hates Seymour for whatever reason. Did you keep that in your backstory?
I don't know if I remember seeing that in your backstory, but
maybe
I can easily I can easily have that be a thing.
His nickname was Seymour Butts. That's what.
Yeah.
That's.
I don't think anything we've done up so far contradicts that. So they certainly could not like him at all. Sure, because he is very grouchy. He's supposed to be grouchy and grumpy and not the same person that Ave met.
Yeah.
But
we did, however, have something in common. It's that we both kind of dream walked.
You did.
Ave has dream walked.
I didn't know that. Well, okay. I wasn't thinking of that when I took that as an ability, because that was like, you know what? I already have like a thing that puts people to sleep. What if I could also dream walk? And that was literally something I got with our hero points from not hero points, my points from last session. Like when you were awarded points, I'm like, that'd be a cool ability that I could use. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's happening now. And that's why it's weird. What I can I ask though, Hark, was that first dream like a dream walk scenario, or is that like somebody trying to warn us, or is that like the game?
I can't tell you. I
can't
unfortunately
tell you.
can't.
Okay.
I can't. That would
Then
spoil
that
too
means
much
it's
if I said yes or
important.
no. I can't say anything. Yeah,
Fair enough,
you have to
fair
interpret that however you want to interpret it right now.
You have the right to remain silent, Hark.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do. Plead
But
the
you
fifth.
probably will find out later.
Yeah.
Maybe. You'll find out
Then
later.
let me propose that question to everybody else then. What do you think the dreams meant?
I do not know. I think it has. I know it has. I know it means something. I just don't know what it means. I don't know if it's a warning or if it's like that's what happens when like whatever this magic thing happens. But Gabe is focusing on the dream because the thing with Asimars is in lore, theoretically, they do get dreams sent to them by
Angels, yeah.
Angels. And Gabe doesn't really get that. That's why he was always like, come on. But like, but when someone says, oh, yes, I had a weird dream. And to him, he's like, look, most people know the difference between dream and I'm getting magical dreams because it's usually a little bit more vivid and stuff. At least that's how I would picture it. So at least Gabe is like, okay, I don't know if this is a warning or if this is what magic is, but it means something. That's why Gabe was like, okay, what would happen?
Yeah, I have like a way off theory again.
Go ahead.
We both, like Ave and Forrest, both had someone in their dream that could have potentially been near them. Like Rook definitely, but Viridian was thinking about meeting up with Forrest, so she could have actually been at you, knocking at you. So what if that wasn't a dream? What if that person was in fact communicating with us? Because they both said like a strange sentence, but if I'm not mistaken, it was both times 3. Like 3 times poser, 3 times whatever was said to Forrest. So that's like 1, 2, go to sleep. So what if they were like mediums to get to us? And they were somehow already involved, mind controlled in a way, like subconsciously. And then
so your theory is that it was real, maybe not exactly 1-to-1, like maybe a little illusory or something. But that
and they both said something to like get our attention, and then like 1, 2, 3, and then they had us.
Some 4D chess stuff right there.
What do you think, Sage?
If Seymour's the
4D
bad
chess?
guy, that'd be some fun.
Well, we gotta kill him. He's old.
We're gonna see you, Seymour.
I got you.
Yeah. What was your idea on the dreams?
Dude, I have no
Sage?
idea.
No idea?
Yeah. Cade would be like, kind of a coincidence, but no more crazy than anything else going on.
Okay.
As for Sage, I'm just like, man, I'll learn later.
Yeah, I'm just
We're
wearing
just
my
session 5. It's just
I'm
session
just-
5.
I'm just wearing my massive tinfoil hat.
Yeah. I'm already trying to spin theories, and it's starting to get unhealthy. But
Joey's king of theories, man.
I
think he's right on some of them, to
overthink
be fair.
so much, but I'm really really confident on the Genesis root canal.
part of me is
Yeah.
wondering if Hark is just like he doesn't necessarily. Well, he has like points that he knows he wants to do, but the rest of it's just like, you know what, guys, you say whatever you want, and I'll pick up on the most interesting things and
Yeah.
go to lead.
We're
to
all
those.
DMs. We know how to do
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
it.
I am very guilty of being an improv DM,
Yeah.
where I do that exactly.
Mhm.
I actually want to
Same.
bounce it back to Gabe and Kyle. I didn't get the answer on like the thing that we might not know about your character.
I'm trying to think. I mean, it's touch on a little bit on his workaholic nature. I mean, like it's touch upon, but mainly I think it's only touched upon, but he says it like in passing, is because I think it's like I said, you guys are hitting Gabe in the point where he does not have to be the workaholic, or he is both in a more mentally kind of sane, more a mentally more secure place. He's kind of over his like the divorce. He's finally like moved on from that, and he's in at least a company wide spot where he's not usually forced to do like hours on end. And I think it does come up, but it usually just comes up in like small bits that Gabe used to like really just work a lot. So that hasn't really I thought that might come up more, but it makes sense that it hasn't, because this is post like workaholic Gabe. Now he's still that kind of person, but now he's like, okay, no, I had a problem and I'm actually working on it.
You're standing up for yourself too against your boss, which I liked early.
Which is why I think that's why he tells Cade, you were given a second chance, don't lose it, because Gabe is like, I'm making my second chance because like I literally was like, oh shit, I'm the one that kind of ruined things. And there's like, I also think he does take some of the blame a little bit too much on himself, but overall he's like, yeah, I have to fix it, which is why he's like, oh look, I understand, boss lady, but you know, I'm trying to actually connect with my kids again. But
could I ask you, if your job was unrelated to the events happening, so like you worked at like McDonald's or something, you were the manager at McDonald's, or can we franchise? Can we say that you work at McDo's and you work at McDo's and you're the manager there? Do you think that we have, and all this that's happening, having an effect on you is necessarily fixing or helping your workaholic tendencies? Or do you think like you healing from that is unrelated? Or are we completely wrong and you still are? Oh, I'm completely wrong. You still are.
I think it's a little bit of both. It's Gabe does not have friends. That is the thing is, I mean, he probably has like work friends, but like he doesn't go out and talk with people. When he finally got free time and he realized his kids didn't really talk to him, he basically works in a workshop up like in his house. So it's helping him out because he's actually talking to people. But it's also that I think this only worked because he's now in this stage of his life. Because I think for the last couple of years, Gabe was kind of not in a good position. So like this, you go. I'll just say it's basically the perfect kind of moment, because it was, if you hit him, I think this only kind of would have worked if it was before his divorce or like long after his divorce, like it is now. In that kind of middle, like right when it happened, it just when it happened, Gabe would have been like, I don't care, go, leave me alone.
You're not just now talking to people, you're also welcoming them into your house.
Yeah.
Like to stay. So that's big.
Some are less of a choice than others, but
one big happy family.
To be fair, he's like, you know what? He's not gonna ask Cade to leave at this point, because literally he's like two of his options are literally right here, and that's not bothered. That's not bothered that nice that nice lady. Oh.
Janice, yeah.
Yeah, this. And he's like, yeah, no, I don't know who this Verdian person is, so I'm not sending him the.
I don't know if Sage is another character. Sage felt the same way, but I also really enjoyed the talk between Cade and Stalin Steel as well at the end. I thought that was a really cool.
I was really interested.
It was, yeah, like I thought it would be really easy and cliche for Stalin to be very,
waving fingers,
but I kind of wanted him to be more Commissioner Gordon than what you would typically see in a lot of these type of stories. So
I think Cade's going through something interesting where it's like everyone else seems to just understand what right and wrong are, and they all seem to agree somehow. But when I think of what's right, everyone gets mad at me, and I am so confused.
Yeah,
because I guess my right and wrong compass is just different than everyone else's.
I feel like I want to lean. This is more of a request from the players. I want the players to consider maybe your PCs might have to have a conversation with Gabe about that. I feel like you might recognize that that's something that Cade's struggling with. Maybe there might be a scene that you can set up with your character and their character to give a little bit of perspective to.
Oh no, it is definitely on my to-do list.
Then you should definitely do that. Yes, 100%.
Not sure about everybody else, but that is on my to-do list.
I feel like coming from Forrest is very good.
It fell off of Abe's to-do list because apparently his brother has kind of the same view.
Yeah. I don't think Rook and Cade have a lot of the same things because Rook's all about y'all are ruining the environment and you're cutting down all these trees and technology, etc. And so he's like, you're wasting the air. He pretty much has him and Cade are very the same, similar in a lot of ways.
And the fact that Rook is such an important person for Abe is like one of the most important people in his life. Just agreed kind of with the person that he thought was completely wrong, being Cade. So like maybe are we like maybe a bit wrong as well? Is Cade like right?
Yeah. I actually find more when I'm looking at the characters, I find personally Rook more similar to Cade than V, honestly, in many ways.
Yeah.
So I feel like they would actually get along really well. But
so yeah, morality is a big question mark right now.
Yeah. Looking ahead, just so people know what's coming up. So I don't know how many of you have known this from my previous campaigns, but it's been a tradition for the last, 5 campaigns, I think, where we would always have, quote unquote, the confessional session. And it is very like reality show based, where there would be these cuts where the camera would just be on that one person and they just give a confessional as if they were in a reality show, like, oh man, Ave, he's really getting on my nerves right now. I mean, can you believe what he just did, etc., etc. But since you're actually doing a reality show in the next dive, I figured it's so fitting to just do it then. I'm happy to send you excerpts of some of my favorite confessional like moments in my previous campaigns because I just think they're hilarious. This has been known to be a lot of fun for the players and for the viewers. And so just to give you an idea of what has been done in the past and sort of like what we're looking for, I'll let you know. What typically happens mechanically is that I ask you all to just take notes as the session goes and says, hey, when this happened, it'd be cool to drop in a confessional about this and just take notes so that you would record that separately, like after the session. And then I could edit that in to each of the actual like sessions themselves. I anticipate that the next dive, your next QA dive, the reality show, is probably going to take 2 sessions to complete, especially if we're not going into it immediately in the next session, because I think there's a little bit of cleanup. I think V wants to, spend $800 on donuts or something.
Have another
before
day.
that.
I mean, interesting.
My money. Cool.
Thinking about special sessions, though.
Yes.
How do you think the well, this is not like
crossover?
Like it's a general like. How do you guys think the crossover is going to go?
Oh, I talked about the Athenaeum players. We have something very fun planned. Hopefully,
I did hear a little bit on some of their like ideas of like who would they like to be, because I believe that was their their final episode. That was their question.
They talked about which character they would like to roleplay with.
Star's gonna hate Gabriel's clothing. Star's gonna he'd be like, wow, oh no, look at that.
The thing is, like, most people I think would think that Star and Forrest would get along together because they're like musical buddies. But I don't think they would. Or not in the traditional sense. Like, Forrest is immersed in music more than most people are. And they really care about what type of music is on. And if they're constantly bombarded with different music, it can be overwhelming and overstimulating for them. Yeah. And that is a weakness, just so you know, Hark.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see even Star's world. Because his world is all about voice
like,
and magic behind the voice, and then you have Ave.
Yeah, and you have Ave,
who doesn't have his own voice. He has a Swiss Army knife of other voices. Like, is he like the magic king of that
Joey,
world?
Joey, can you sing?
Kinda, I guess.
Can you carry a tune?
Maybe a little.
Star's world is the musical world.
I know.
Star's world is the music and romance world.
Depends on what kind of song, I suppose.
Okay, we'll think about it.
We'll figure it out.
I'm just curious, can any of you all carry a tune at least? You have a background in music, right, Ethan?
Yes, I do. I've performed at state competitions before.
As like vocally?
Yes, as vocally.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Tenor, baritone, bass?
I have a very, very big range. I can hit some.
Cool.
I can go tenor 1, bass 2, and I can even hit some alto notes.
Doggone it. Good to know.
But yeah.
Sage, what did you say?
Not a chance for me.
Not at
a
all?
chance.
Okay, you'll end up in the Black Powder. Black Powder also / Thistle had no singing whatsoever, but we got around that. How about you, Kyle?
I mean, not really. I've sing before on Boy Scouts, but like when you sing with like 10 other people, your horrible sound kind of gets drowned out.
We do a lot of what we did when we were in Star's World. I don't want to jump too ahead, but when we were in Star World, we did a lot of talk singing. Yeah. Like, you're not musical. Really singing, you're just talk singing, and then there's like music in the background. So that's probably what we can probably do for
or instead of singing, you could also just like rhyme your stuff. Kind of like
we'll talk about it more, but I think it is safe to say that at some point during the crossover, you will end up in the musical world. There might be something at some point, but that's a while. That's a while ahead.
Oh, I'm just picturing Caden's Toys world where he just becomes the serial killer. He becomes the Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, Caden Tori's world.
That would be interesting if one of us became a monster.
Him versus the axe murder. Yes.
Yeah.
The guy who was following them was a weed whacker. It was the weed whacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what if we pop into that world and Cade just goes berserk?
It's fun.
Ooh, that would be fun.
People. No.
I was also thinking Cade and Sam's world could be interesting.
Cade and Sam's world would be interesting. Yeah. Murder mystery. Yeah. Yeah.
Always a red herring in that one.
There's potential.
That's true. Yes.